Opening prayer, Jamie.
All right, well, let us rise. And this evening, instead of a prayer, I think that maybe it'd be appropriate if we have a moment of silence for the folks who have been affected by the hurricane. I know it's not necessarily recent news, but...
Deacon is here.
Oh,
Okay.
I was told that I was doing the prayer. Then you are far more eloquent than you.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Let's have that moment of silence for
All
those
right.
people affected by the hurricane damages. Amen. First of all, I've lived in this town for 47 years, retired from Diebold 11 years ago, and my wife and I could not think of a better place to live.
Thank you.
So thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we stand before you as we gather together. With you alone to guide us, make yourself at home in our hearts. Teach us the way we must go and how we are to pursue it. Do not let us promote disaster, but peace. Do not let ignorance lead us down the wrong path, nor partiality influence our actions. Let us find in you our unity, so that we may journey together in finding the right solutions for our town. All this we ask of you, who are at work in every time and every place in our hearts. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Liam, would you please call the roll?
Member Wyatt?
Here.
Member Owens?
Here.
Member Cleister?
Here.
Member Stroya?
Here.
Member Warren?
Here.
Member Atheny?
Here.
Member Orr?
Here.
7 present.
Okay, kind of a motion and a second to approve as presented third quarter financial reports, the report, minutes from the September 16th City Council and September 23rd public hearing and City Council meetings.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And no one signed up for the first public speaks, so we will move into business. And Liam, would you please read the title of ordinance 57-2024?
An ordinance finalizing the annexation of 2 parcels owned by the City of North Canton located on Whipple Avenue Northwest, Wise Avenue Northwest, and West Maple Street by establishing the zoning of the parcels as General Business B and establishing the City Council voting wards as Ward 1 and Ward 4.
Okay, and as you see the map up on the screens at the side, this was the closest category we had to the previous category, and one would be split into Ward 1 and 4. Nothing's new on this that I know of, and this is the second reading. Are there any comments or questions on it? Okay.
Real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Want to wait? Okay. The one parcel that we see here, which would be the southernmost parcel, which I guess would be what, right up there by Whipple and Maple, that is actually not owned by the city anymore. Is that one of the parcels that are?
Yeah, so at the time of annexation, it was owned by the city.
Okay, so we're able to proceed then?
Yep.
Okay. Just wanted to double check.
Gotcha. Okay. Anybody else? I'll make a motion to adopt the second reading of ordinance 57-2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Liam, would you please read the title of ordinance 80-2024?
An ordinance establishing Chapter 163, Contracts and Purchasing, of the codified ordinances of the City of North Canton, thereby establishing provisions for contracting and purchasing procedures in the City of North Canton.
Okay, ordinance and rules.
Okay, we've gone over this for the last couple of weeks and stuff. There are no changes to this. Do we have any questions? We've added more. It's a much needed thing. I'll make the ordinance.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to new business. Liam, would you please read the title of ordinance 67-2024?
An ordinance amending Chapter 1136, Main Street District Regulations, specifically Section 1136.05, Schedule of Permitted Uses of the codified ordinances of the City of North Canton, in order to allow hotels as a conditional use in Main Street Center districts.
Okay, ordinance rules. John, this is you.
Okay, this is about adding hotels that can be added, is that without going to the zoning board of appeals, or they still would have to go to the zoning board of appeals?
So it's just allowing it as a conditional use, so they'll still have to submit their plans and everything, and it'll have to go through planning commission for review, and just making sure that it complies with all of the regulations that the building department sets.
There's nothing currently.
They wouldn't have to go to planning commission.
They would have to go to planning commission.
Yeah.
So, I'll make a motion that ordinance 67-2024, and this would go to for the second reading.
Let me make a motion. Let's make I'm gonna make the motion to set the public hearing for ordinance.
Oh, this is for public,
Yeah.
sorry.
67-2024 for November 18th at 6:45 PM.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And I'm going to make a motion to postpone further consideration to ordinance 67-2024 until after the November 18th public hearing.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Liam, would you please read the title of ordinance 68-2024?
An ordinance amending Chapter 1136.12, Food and Beverage Pickup Standards, specifically subsections 1136.12A, Drive-Through Standards, and 1136.12B, Drive-Up Window Standards, of the codified ordinances of the City of North Canton, in order to allow drive-through facilities in Main Street districts to have 2 drive-through lanes and 2 menu boards.
All right, John.
Okay, we've had this, Chick-fil-A only be using 2, I believe, McDonald's has 2, so if any of the other restaurants up there need a double drive-through, we can do that. So, I'll make a motion that it's,
Set the public hearing.
set the public hearing on November 18th.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And I'll make the motion to postpone further consideration of ordinance 68-2024 until after the November 18th public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Liam, would you please read the title of ordinance 81-2024?
An ordinance authorizing appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures related one-time permanent transfers of monies made to various funds for the period beginning January 1st, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025.
Finance, Stephanie.
Okay, this is our first budget reading. We went over it last week for a lengthy amount of time and really understanding the differences, the processes. I think 3 things that I noted was it was very collaborative this year. This doesn't start a week ahead of time. This starts like in July when they start meeting with people. And it was one of the first times I think that there was a true balance of administration working with each of the department heads. They're tying revenue to different line items and departments, which was really significant. I know that one person said, like, I get it. I finally understand how the Fed's budget works and why. And then in the end, some of the departments already came back with kind of recommendations that were understood and accepted because you had had those discussions before. So it was very thorough. It made sense. And I think there was a true understanding between all of us on what the budget looked like. So for any other thoughts on that? Okay. All right. So one thought, just thank you to Jim and Gina and all the department heads and their teams, and Ben and Catherine and the mayor. I mean, I know this was many, many rounds and rounds, so just thank you for that. Thoughts?
The only concern I have is in asking if council still has a concern with the difference between projected revenue and total expenses. We're still pulling from those savings that we have and we added to this past year, which is good, but we're still pulling over $800,000 from those savings to meet this budget. And I mentioned before that passing a budget that didn't balance was going to be a concern. I proposed to council members that if we wanted to keep dispatch, that we need to find a way to fund that. And I think we need to come up with some more money to help fund that dispatch, pull this a little closer to $500,000 instead of 900,000, 868. It's tough.
It is tough.
I do believe that revenues tend to come in better. Expenses, most of the time, don't always hit those targets. Past has shown that those dollars have rolled back in. But I still think that there might be a gap here. And they're hard decisions to make.
There is a gap, for sure. I really want to give the new administration an opportunity to fulfill what they want to. And I think this helps them do that.
What do you mean by that?
Are you referring to the tweaks and the changes to dispatch?
I think the overall budget, they have a vision, and it's different from the previous administration, and it's less of a gap. And I think we're making the correct moves toward that, but it would be my brother's calling me on that screen, that's weird. I think that we're moving in the correct direction. It would be we'd have to cut something drastic. It would affect everyday services of the community if we make any more cuts. And I don't know what that cut would be. Do we look at, the major things we looked at are huge factors that would affect residents' everyday life, cutting dispatch. If issue 9 doesn't pass, do we look at outsourcing fire? God, that would be awful. But those are the drastic moves that we're going to have to do if we want to cut, that much revenue out to get where we're at 1.5 without a police levy that literally does not exist in other municipalities our size. It just doesn't happen. So, I don't know how much more we can cut without affecting the everyday lives of our citizens. I think that's my point. And to Ben's, PowerPoint that he did with the mile per hour gauge, do we cut more? It is going to have effect. It's going to have that effect.
I think when we're looking at the budget, or I think when we move forward with the way dispatch was going to be, I think we were told that there was going to be close to 300,000 in savings, and so we're not seeing that.
Part of the reason for that is we also, council agreed, and I believe when you impact people, that's the decision needs to be made, was that we were going to have no layoffs. So right now, we're still overstaffed by one full-time person. We're still staffed afternoons and night shifts with 2 people 50% of the time waiting for a phone call. Residents spoke. The majority of council said yes. I believe now the majority of council needs to say, okay, how are we going to fund that? Even if you look at where it comes up, we're still at least $100,000 short for funding dispatch on the money that we're already saving. I mean, there have been a reduction in people, but we've added part-time people back.
What's your proposal, Dave?
Well, I think council members that chose to keep dispatch needs to come up with another $100,000.
I mean, it's easy to say that, but
It is, but those decisions were made, and now we have a budget in '25 that we got to get a little closer to matching revenue.
we were able to cut that extra person we have. I'll call for anything from that.
Well, they already decided when they passed it that they didn't want to do any layoffs. So we've already made that decision.
Well, we can, I mean, we were told that we were gonna be at $300,000 savings,
And we will be,
but we're still short.
because we still have one extra person. So that's coming, but we still need to find a way to fund it. Well, let me ask you this.
Two more
You
ways
asked
to
me
talk
where you want
about
it to come from. Are the funds for Arrowhead to redo the showers needed? How many people use those showers? Is it really a space that needs to be fixed in '25? I don't know.
But that's capital. We're not at a capital deficit. We're actually at a 36% carryover versus
Is that-
25 required.
Not in
That's not in
capital.
capital, that's in general.
It is?
Yes.
Okay. What line is that?
So it's in, Arrowhead's budgeted 250, 300 out of income tax. Do we nix the shower? Does that get us 100,000? Postpone it another year?
It was postponed from previous year,
I
so.
know, but there's a lot of departments postponing every year, and we're still over revenue with what our expenses are.
What are the, to his point, what are the state of the showers? I mean,
It's kind of the last thing that needs done.
Yeah.
They're bad.
They're bad, but who uses them? I mean, who's gonna, how many people are actually gonna benefit from that versus that $100,000 or $125,000 to say that's what we're using to fund the dispatch?
And, I mean, I'm not arguing it, but just for clarification, it's not just the showers, it's the whole restroom. Like, it's toilets, it's sinks, it's a flooring, it's wall, it's ceiling issues. It's just called the showers, like the shower area. But, yeah, but could they get by? Yeah, I mean, it's just the last thing to be done.
What's the total cost of all of it?
We have 75,000 budgeted.
Yeah.
Okay, that's part of the way.
I mean, I like your thinking. Because when we were thinking about dispatch, obviously, we were moving forward. And I still believe, you know, when we talk about safety, it was not a safety, it was a transfer of calls. And if we believe it was such a safety issue, then I suppose we shouldn't take on the new area that's going to be here, or we would say that that isn't safe. So I'm going to assume that it's safe no matter where the calls are taken. And then we were moving forward, and then a couple timing things happened, and things happened. So there were a grouping of you that were, you know, very adamant that this stays, you know, at a cost to taxpayers of approximately 300,000 additional monies. And then I think we were told, we thought, I thought that we were always going to have people cut, because I think we said we weren't an employment agency and we were doing what was right with the city. So I guess that was my fault, I didn't realize that. So yeah, I am with Dave. And if there's a way that we can cut some other places, and I think we should. The citizens that came that day, they spoke about, you know, the necessity for this and thinking it was a safety issue, and wanting it at all costs. So when you talk about other services, okay, but like you said, the showers, that isn't really a service for our citizens.
I think,
I don't disagree with that cut for a year, as long as we think it can function for that year.
I don't disagree either, but I guess I just want to make the point that this is what happens, right? I feel like the seven of us are put up here to make the difficult decisions, kind of weighing. We have all of the information, right? We've got all of the information and we're supposed to make the tough decisions, and it's really hard to do. And when people come and, you know, voice their concerns, which certainly we're respectful of and we want to hear, then if we don't make the tough decisions, this is where we are. And our parks, let's cut another thing. I mean, we're just cutting everything from parks. So it's fine, we can have dispatch, we can have safety, it's all very important, but there's a cost to that.
Yeah.
So
And we said
that's,
Yep.
yep. So it's really disappointing to be cutting more out of parks again. But I understand, we have to balance things.
Our park superintendent has never indicated it being any kind of a health issue. I mean, if it's that bad, I can definitely inquire with him. If it were something that would create any kind of a public health issue with that restroom being that bad, and I'd say we have to reconsider. But if it's okay, then yes, it would be postponing for another year.
I guess another area or another thought would be, and I know that you mentioned the service to the police cars, and if we don't do that, it's harder to get the value for those cars. But there was a time when we weren't policing cars, you know, as often as we do. I don't know. I mean, I know at one point we got off that different schedule. Is that something?
Those are a capital expense, not an operating.
Okay. And I know we were trying to get back on a system, so it wouldn't seem as heavy.
Keep in mind also, we do budget to transfer 300,000 to the street fund. This year, we did not need that.
Right.
If gas tax and motor vehicle license tax are higher than we projected, like what happened this year. So the general fund is right now coming out even. We've made up the deficit, sold some land. We still have other land to sell. That would come back to the general fund as well.
And so, that being said, so you know that in October. So there is a way, possibly, that at the end we could say, hey, it looks like we're gonna balance. We could do this project
Yeah,
at that
we
point.
up the budget about every other month. We
Yeah.
bring
Right.
Yeah.
amendments to you as new revenue comes in or expenses need to be increased or decreased.
We've been
throughout the
really
year.
good at
You
that.
guys are great with that,
We watch it pretty closely.
yes.
I'd just like to add one thing, that as we look towards the future, I think it would still be of value to reconsider a 2% income tax for the
Yes.
future. I think that should come back for discussion,
That would fix it.
and that, I think, would help us tremendously in going forward.
You know, Mr. Mayor, I've had those exact same conversations with several constituents. Nobody wants to pay more taxes. Believe me, I don't want to pay taxes, but it boils down to, if you want to have nice things, you got to pay for them. And I think that was the tone of the letter that I saw that you wrote. These discussions that we're having here are on a much larger scale of what we all are probably having in our own households with our own budgets. And if you want to have nice things, you got to find a way to pay for it, either increase the income or cut. So, totally agree with
I
you.
just think about, progress. Well, change brings progress, and change brings growth. And I've just looked over the last few years and how we have gone through some changes, and not everybody is accustomed to change, okay? But we have shown some progress and growth with, I'll just say, again, our northwest quadrant there for the economic development up in that quadrant there. But, if you want to live in this community that you like, we have to be willing to build it. We must be willing to build that. And I just think about everybody who came before us, got us to this point, in our community. And we were stagnant for a while, and you all helped move us forward in some decisions to, bring some sustainability, to our community, to be able to afford the services that we've become accustomed to. And I still believe that this council still makes their decisions for the greater good of our community. And I still believe in that tenet. And so I think it should be something that if we can approach in 2025, being at 1.5% for 52 years
But I think,
was
yeah, I
good, but now I think we need to move that needle.
I think that's a conversation to have, but we are asking the residents to step up. We're asking them to vote for a new fire and EMS station.
Yeah.
We're asking for them to up their contribution for streets, for that infrastructure. And I think before we have a conversation on upping the revenue, we need to right-size where we're at in terms of land. What we just did tonight with changing the zoning for that area, was that property is sold, a couple of others that may be on the market. I think once we right-size that, if we're not meeting those budgets, if those incomes aren't reaching where they need to, then we revisit that. But
Yeah.
I'm not ready to revisit that right now.
Me neither.
But my only thought on that was, had it passed, we wouldn't be in this situation today.
But people said no.
I understand that.
And so now we're asking them, for this, and we have a great plan forward. And then I would like to look at and say, compared to other cities, with our property tax and with the increase in this and our road tax and this, what are we paying versus others?
Well,
And the school.
I will say this, if the
And
issues.
it's not just income tax.
If the issues proposed don't pass, we have a whole nother level of discussion that needs to happen for the next 2 years. Because that blows through our consolidated savings of not buying as many fire trucks, EMS vehicles, then having to play catch up with street paving. That's not a scenario that our community wants to be in. And that causes, if we're discussing $800,000 right now, $868,000, if these levies don't pass, you guys don't want to know what the number is going to be that we're going to be discussing next year
Well, let's think
and
optimistically.
the year after.
Exactly.
Let's think optimistically that.
Well, my
that the
point
levy's
is, let's
gonna pass.
reassess after the
Right,
levies.
and to Dave's point, maybe some properties can get moved, let's keep our fingers crossed there, and along with that, bring in some new businesses to the city that can not only just
We'll see.
wipe off the sale of the property, but also bring in some income, so.
Yep. I'll make it clear, we have a revenue issue, we don't have a capital issue. It's, land is gonna, make us good for another year if we can sell some land. But
Right.
that doesn't address
It's,
the revenue
if a
issue.
business comes in and starts bringing us revenue,
That would be
that's
great.
what we need, yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's the whole reason behind the whole land banking initiative as well, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do we have a proposal then, or will we go have a motion to go forward at least with this first reading?
So I think if we can get an assessment of those shower property, or the shower,
It was 75,000.
yeah, I'm talking about the condition of that, if it is able to be postponed, that would
Okay.
be helpful. I'll make a motion to adopt the first reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Good discussion.
Excellent discussion. And we have 2 more weeks, so we can.
It's important that we keep them moving forward in terms of staying on schedule. I still think there needs to be adjustments made before the next reading. So we got a couple of weeks, we can work with administration, figure out what's the right steps.
Thank you.
Liam, would you please read the title of Resolution 82-2024?
A resolution to acknowledge the rates and fees utilized to establish the budget for the 2025 fiscal year.
Okay, it's just really as it's stated. Any other issues or concerns? They're all listed. Seeing none, I motion to adopt the first reading of Resolution 82-2024.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Opposed? Motion carries. And Liam, would you please read the title of ordinance 83-2024?
An ordinance approving, confirming, and accepting perpetual waterline easements on the properties known as parcel numbers 100-18563 and 100-18564, located in the city of North Canton, Stark County, Ohio, by and between the city of North Canton and Ohio Charter Municipal Corporation, grantee, and Mag Family Holdings LLC, grantor.
Utilities, rubbish.
All right. We discussed this last week at our Committee of the Whole meeting, to my knowledge, or basically this is a new service for the new buildings that are going to go in front of the Meijer, so the Chick-fil-A as well as the Seven Brew Coffee Shop. To my knowledge, there's been no additional information. Any questions or comments from anybody else? All right. Well, with that, I'd make a motion that we adopt this reading of 83-2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Liam, if you would read the preamble of the public speaks.
At this time, members of the public who have signed up to address City Council will be called to do so. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes. Speakers shall be called in the order they signed up. During this section, comments shall be limited to items reasonably under the city's authority. The rules for speaking and the speaker's time will appear on the screens. After you have finished speaking, please remain at the podium to answer questions from the officials of the dais. This will serve as the final warning for all speakers. Any violation of the rules will result in ejection from the premises.
Thank you, Liam. Okay, we have one speaker, John Kleinbeck.
Good evening. My name is John Kleinbeck. I'm the president of the North Canton Professional Firefighters.
Please state your address for the record, please.
3468 Vanderhoof Road, New Franklin, Ohio.
Thank you.
Again, I'm the president of the North Canton Professional Firefighters Association. I represent, me and Brad's my vice president. We represent the 17 full-time firefighter paramedics that work for the City of North Canton Fire Department. I'm here tonight to show support on behalf of our members for issue 9, which is the bond issue that is coming up in November for a new fire station. First, I'd like to thank council members, administration, the mayor, for all your hard work that you have put into this so far. Our members recognize it, they appreciate it. It has not gone unnoticed, so thank you very much for all you guys have done so far. I'm not here to talk about the current state of the buildings for the most part. I think Ben's done a great job as far as that goes with all the meetings that have been had so far. What I want to do is I want to put a voice to our members, speak on our behalf. We work, eat, sleep 24 hours a day at these facilities. We know what it takes to efficiently operate, what we need to efficiently and effectively operate for our department, for our city. We work every third day for 24 hours. It's basically a third of our lives we're spending in these facilities. So we know what it is that we need, and we're hoping that the public will understand where we come from now. Our members are dedicated to providing fire and medical protection to the city. When the calls come in, we go out, we handle it. When the call is over, patient's delivered to the hospital or the fire's put out, we head back to the station. The call may be over for those people, but it's not for us. There's the mental issues that are dealt with. There's the emotional issues. There's the physical, the health issues that go into it. We take all of this back to these stations. We don't have the facilities capable to allow our members to effectively decompress after a call. Mentally, they are taxed. The mental illnesses in the fire service are huge right now, and we need the facilities that can accommodate that for our members. The health concerns that are out there, the protective gear that we wear, it is designed to keep all the nasty stuff out in the environments we're in, but unfortunately, it retains a lot of that as well. When we get back to the station, we don't have a place to store all that equipment so it can properly be decontaminated. So it is amongst all of the rest of the equipment, where we're living, where we're eating, where we're sleeping. It is out there and all those toxins are being released out into the air that we're breathing. We need a facility that will accommodate us to be able to decontaminate our equipment and also provide our people a safe and private area to clean themselves as well. We don't have that either. Our department is growing. We have, our call volume is exponentially grown over the past years. We don't have the ability to increase our needs with the current buildings we have. Our staffing needs to increase. We don't have the facilities to accommodate that. The equipment that we need, the vehicles, everything's getting bigger, everything's getting more advanced. Our buildings are not designed for the full-time department that we have. I'd like to thank everybody basically for everything you've done. Again, we wouldn't be this far along if it wasn't for everybody's hard work. So really appreciate it. I hope that everybody turns out November 5th in support of issue 9. Our members are actually reaching out to the taxpayers asking for your help right now. We are hoping that they see the value in what this issue brings so that we can better serve our community in the future going forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for putting a face on it.
Yes.
It's perfect.
Any comments, questions for Mr. Kleinbeck? Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
In a rush, we gotta get back to training.
Yeah. So moving on to department reports. Let's start with Mayor Wilder.
Thank you. Let me get organized here just for a second. I want to thank again firefighter Kleinbeck and Captain Dillon for coming and sharing their thoughts and speaking on behalf of our firefighters and representing their union. In no particular order, just so everybody knows, it's on our webpage and everything, but North Canton Trick or Treat, okay, is going to be Sunday, October the 27th from 3 to 5. That's always something critical that our community wants to know.
You said October
27th.
27th,
Yes.
3 to 5.
Sunday, October 27th, 3 to 5.
Cool.
And you can check the newspaper. I'm sure there's other church organizations have a trunk and treat, and I know Walsh University has something, Boo at the university, so Boo at the Woo, I think. But that's for them. And for those of us veterans, just so you know, October the 13th was the establishment of the United States Navy in 1775. So they're celebrating their 249th birthday, and that was on Sunday the 13th. Again, thanks to all the service members who have served for their dedication in protecting our nation. I got a couple calls, believe it or not, from some citizens, and I'm just going to share just a short statement again about stop school buses. Oftentimes you can hear they're blasting their horns because of people passing them, but just for the record, again, you must stop at least 10 feet from the rear of a school bus when the bus is stopped for the purpose of receiving or discharging any passengers. And you shall not proceed until the school bus resumes motion or until signaled by the school bus driver to proceed. And those of people who are cited for that, it is a mandatory appearance in municipal court and for a violation. And you may be assessed a fine up to, but not to exceed $500. And you may incur a license suspension up for 1 year. So I just wanted to share that on behalf of those citizens that contacted me. Just wanted, for the record too, early voting has started. And I don't know about you, but I got my notices in the paper or mail, and they recommend if you're going to absentee vote, it has to be received no later than October the 25th for absentee voting. And early voting already has started. And I did print off, I had somebody actually call me wanting to know about what do they need to identification to register to vote. So voter identification requirements, I told them you can go to the Secretary of State, but again, Several types of valid identification. Ohio driver's license, state of Ohio ID card, interim ID issued by the Ohio BMV, a U.S. passport, a U.S. passport card, U.S. military ID, Ohio National Guard ID card, or a U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs ID card. All photo IDs must have the following: an expiration date that has not passed, and a photograph of one voter, and the voter's name, which must substantially conform to the voter's name as it appears in the poll list in the poll book. What's not acceptable is a utility bill, a bank statement, a government check, your paycheck, other government document other than acceptable forms as listed above as I read them off, such as a social security card or a birth certificate. A driver's license or photo identification card issued by the state of Ohio, by the state other than Ohio. Ohio non-citizen identification, also known as non-renewable / non-transferable credential. An Ohio mobile ID, an insurance card, or any registration acknowledgement notice from the County Board of Elections. And if for anyone else who is still not quite clear on what's on the November ballot in 2024, they can simply go to our website, and we have a nice description there explaining the two issues of 9 and 10. And just wanted to make sure that was known to everybody. And I know we're going to have a special guest here tonight to be sworn in at a later date, but I'll save that congratulations until that person is officially sworn in. And that's all I have for right now, until somebody else brings something up that I want to interject. Thank you.
As a follow-up to Halloween, are you going to dress up this year?
Yes, I'm going to dress up as the mayor. and I'm going to see how that might fly. But FYI, I am doing a trunk or treat at Church of Christ on the 20th. I think that's a Sunday, so yes, thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you. Do I need a mask? Mr. Stroya?
That's up to you. That's up to you.
No comment, huh? Okay. Thank you.
It was nice
for the
there.
time.
It was very nice.
Thanks for indulging me.
All right, Director of Finance.
I'm gonna let Jim go first, and he'll start with the quarterly report, and then if, like the mayor, if I'll add, I'll add.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
We
you.
got some quarterly statistics, some analytics, I guess you could say. General fund revenues, we have income tax up $300,000, which is almost 4% from last year at this time. Our license fees and permits are up $5,500, which is a little over 1% this time last year. Our rentals are slightly down, looking due to civic center rentals that we haven't had this year. Our interest, this is nice. We are up 12.5% from this time last year. That's about $53,000. $50,000 increase. For water, we have about $400,000 of increase from this time last year in water revenue sales, which is about 7% increase. Our auto pay customers, I always like this one because I just like seeing with the new system and how easy auto pay is. We're up 531 customers we're up by 531 customers an increase, which is 18%, which I think is pretty awesome. And yeah, we've been with meter investments. You guys approved us to get a contract done, that's doing well. We have a 3.06% yield to maturity, and obviously as old maturities start falling off, we will invest in higher interest rate maturities. So that's what I got.
Nice. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Gina?
Well, he covered all of it. We are 86% invested of our liquid cash right now, and that's about on the high end of where we can be. So as Jim said, as investments start to mature, we have sort of this low point to fill around 2 to 3 years maturity. you know, we kind of like to have an even amount, you know, that matures each year so that we have a consistent interest amount that we can count on each month or at least annually in the budget. So as those mature and roll off, I know we're looking at lower interest rates now, but we're going to try to fill that 2-3 year gap. Other than that, yeah, the quarterly report was pretty clean. Our withholding is normalizing now. You know, we saw that it was extremely off from our original projections, but it has caught up. And our net profit is still a little high and individuals still a little low, but together they're all equaling where we're right where we need to be, so.
Excellent, thank you. Director of Administration, Catherine.
Thank you, Matt. I guess I'll give some operational reports tonight on a few things because people have been asking. You know, as the unofficial spokesperson for the East Maple HOA, I like to always say my East Maple Street is looking good. We're down to just finishing up with striping, so it looks really great. It's open again. People that travel it often are very happy. This morning, Rob also gave reports in our morning meeting that the Knoll project that is completed. Peachtree is something people keep asking about. When is Peachtree going to be finished? They're very close to finishing that up. Should be finished this week. Also, Everhard, we were talking about that. There's about 100 holes on Everhard that are currently being patched. So if you're driving down Everhard, you do see they're working on that. So you know, we paved that a few years back with the polymer, and now we're going to patch the holes. Then they let it sit through the winter so that it settles, and then in the spring, when they can, you know, get out and pave again, they will mill it down, and then they'll pave over. So that's the status on Everhard. Jamie, in your ward, did you notice Woodrow trees?
Oh, I did, and that was item number 2 on my list, so, yes.
So it's looking good. They're going really quick on it. I mean, the ground's nice and soft from the rain. The trees are there, so he was hoping to be done by Thursday. He thinks it could be Wednesday. Wow. So getting that done. Unfortunately, our service crew has been working tirelessly. Huge thanks to Brian Hill and his whole water distribution team. They had a major water main breakout there on Everhard by Jeff's Motor Cars and that area, Lazy Boy Furniture, there's a big hotel out there, Spring Suites or whatever. The only one that was out of water was Jeff's Auto Center. It happened at 4:30 on Friday. Took him and his crew all through Friday night into Saturday, repaired it, popped again, then late Saturday, they were out again Sunday, got it repaired earlier today, and then Rob came in, what was it, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and said, well, it just popped again. I said, how does this happen? You know, it's just very old. Cast iron pipes, and sometimes when you make the repairs, they just crumble and brittle. And so these poor guys have been out there in the rain, but they got it done. So finally, they're like, fingers crossed that it stays now. That, and then if Liam would indulge me in bringing up something on the screen, I'd like to announce an award we got. There it is, our award-winning photo, Chief Kemp. This is in the repository. A certain reporter, Mr. Wang, covered this news story. Our administrative assistant, Danielle Swinehart, took this picture of one of our cruisers, the contest. We were one of 11 winners in the statewide photo contest held by Light Ohio Blue. And you were supposed to submit a vehicle in front of a city building, an iconic backdrop. So our iconic backdrop was City Hall. And our wonderful Chief Kemp drove 2 hours down to pick up the award at Hilliard. And so we have bragging rights, and we were the only department in Stark County to be named a winner for that
Fantastic.
photo.
Then I came back, and I was back just in time to take Robert's phone call after they issued the news press.
Yep.
There you go.
It was down and back in one day, 4-hour trip.
Did we win any money?
Yeah.
Danielle works in administration, and she's does our social media, our posts on Facebook, and she is a great photographer's eye, so she thought about that. Was that at a festival or something? Is that when that was, after or during, was it Main Street Festival?
Main Street, yeah.
What you don't see in that is the chaos behind us from the Main Street Festival.
Okay.
Because
Wow.
we pulled the cruiser up as they were packing, 720 was packing their trailer up right in front of the cruiser. We were putting stuff over top of the lighting on the sign to kind of dim the lights from the sign because it was washing out the sign. There's a few different things. We got a flashlight shining on the side of the car to make the police part light up.
That is cool.
That's
Yeah,
cool,
maybe
yeah.
it would be a nice postcard.
And Daniel
Yeah.
did a fantastic
Calendar.
job with that.
No,
We
Very
got a
versatile.
That'd be a great
wonderful
postcard, yeah.
crystal, this like crystal award.
That's
So,
cool.
That's my report.
Nice. That is a great picture. That's
Thank
nice.
you, Director.
All right,
I
Deputy
think the
Director.
votes, I think the votes from the residents to vote on that just
Yeah.
shows you the support they have for our police.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, Ben, you're up.
My first thing is that you're all familiar with our annual paving program, or at least our hopeful annual paving program in years we can afford it. What you're probably less familiar with is Rob's annual striping program, which is that he picks a bunch of crosswalks and double yellow lines and things that are wearing out, and he has a budget every year to redo as much as he can with that budget. That has started for this year, so if you are really paying attention, you'll see striping trucks out around, redoing striping in town. And then my second thing is it's very rare that we get to say that projects got done on time and under budget, so I'm gonna take a moment to celebrate a project that got done on time and under budget. And that is our new phone system has officially gone live. And as a true testament to Randy Freyas, who now holds the public safety analyst position that I was previously in, because I can't take credit for these accomplishments I'm about to rattle off. This is all Randy's hard work and him working with 911 and Stark County MA. During our transition, we had no 911 downtime. Our non-emergency line for police and fire was back up and live within 4 hours, which doesn't sound great, but if you guys were here for the previous phone transition, that is worlds better. And our dispatch center was fully functional again. They have 10 different phone numbers. That's very technical, I won't get into it, but all 10 phone numbers were back up, fully functional in under 24 hours. So, great work for Randy. And then the happy under budget side of that is in going live, I discovered a large number of extra phone numbers that we didn't even know we had and that we were paying for, so I got to cancel all of those to save us a little bit more money. A whopping $4.50.
Oh, I was hoping for more.
That's a month.
But that's per month, yeah.
Wow.
That's a coffee.
48 bucks a year,
So
right?
my note to the public on this project being done though is that some extensions have changed. Because part of reducing the city's phone bill was eliminating a bunch of extra extensions we didn't need and cleaning up some extensions. So if you dial in and it just hangs up on you and says that extension doesn't exist anymore, it probably got changed. For example, my old extension no longer exists. So.
Very cool. So it's like, as they
He's still
say,
employed.
Is there a new phone list on the webpage?
Hey, do we have a new phone list on the webpage?
All staff directories on the webpage have been updated and are correct, yeah.
Thank you.
It's more for if you had it memorized or if you have an old business card, don't be put off if it doesn't ring the first time. All of your phone numbers stay the same.
Yeah.
You don't know.
it's like when you call into an automated phone system, say some of these options have changed. So
Yeah,
there you go.
Now we get it.
everybody says that now.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Ben. Liam?
Nothing major. I'm just happy to announce that we are in the home stretch of the WSL inventory that I've been harping on for the last year. I don't have the final numbers yet, but I will work with the water distribution team and I'll be able to get that to you next week. But I just wanted to say that we are done. We have submitted. So now we will start our long-legged process of all the other EPA requirements that come after this. So it will be an ongoing effort. The team has been great. We are incredibly grateful for everybody that was involved. Yeah, that's it.
Sounds fun. Marty, how about you?
Yay.
You know, you're not on the list, but you're here.
So it's a pleasant surprise. I appreciate the opportunity. And, of course, as you know, I was recently appointed as the chief building official, and I'm happy to serve the community. Look forward to continuing those working relationships. And certainly humbled by the support that the community has shown for the residents and the builders at that. So, as everyone knows, I keep an open door and look forward to working with everyone for years to come.
We're more than happy to have you, that's for sure.
Congratulations.
Yep, congrats.
Thank you for staying.
Yes. All right, let's go to council reports. And we'll start with Jim.
All right. I got several items I'd like to share. First one has been shared on the city's webpage, or Facebook page, excuse me. It's about the North Canton leaf pickup. So the leaf pickup will be October 28th through December 6th. Residents are able to take a utility bill and go down to Mueller Lumber, and they will get 25 free bags. So if you'd like further information, I'm sure it can be found on the city website, but certainly can be pulled off the city Facebook page where I got this. Second item, Catherine mentioned already, Woodrow. Holy cow, if you guys have not been down Woodrow, go drive down Woodrow. It is fantastic. It's looking great. So not all planted, and again, we know that the second portion of the project is going to be later next year. And again, you said, what, possibly Wednesday or Thursday they'll be done, but man, it looks great already. So trees look awesome. I've already heard from some residents. They're loving the way it's looking. So big shout out to the administration, and even shout out to Patrick, because I know that this was something that was started under his tenure as well. So other thing that I wanted to bring up, and I think I brought this up at one juncture. This was something that really truly moved me. I think we all at one point or another have talked about local businesses and supporting local businesses. And the result of this is, or I guess not the result of it, it's a bad word. Why do we support local businesses? Because they do so much for the local community, but also their fellow man. I don't know if you guys have seen Uncle Bacon's Barbecue. I mean, we all know them. I mean, my gosh, our family loves them. We like to patronize them at the 720 market. But Dave Wells was just somebody who wasn't able to stand still or sit back when he saw what happened down in North Carolina. So he did what he coined Operation Sandwich and a Smile. And actually, I think I sent some photos to Liam. Hopefully you can pull those up for me, Liam. So he corralled some people to bring in goods, items, water, anything that they could possibly be used down in North Carolina. And then he got a phone call from Andy Graham of Andy Graham's Landscaping, who's a former firefighter. And he actually had a collection drive at the North Canton Fire Department. And so those are the three right there. So you've got Andy on the left, you've got Renee Wells and David Wells right there. And Renee and David are of Uncle Bacon's Barbecue. And Andy Graham is of Andy Graham's Landscaping and Concrete. So the picture on the right is what they took down to North Carolina. And this was multiple communities. This was not just North Canton. It was North Canton. They have some ties up in Akron as well. They had a significant entourage that went down there, and he provided, with his food truck, not with the food truck, but with his smoker, provided sandwiches to first responders and to families in need, hence Operation Sandwich and a Smile. And some of the things that I saw on his Facebook page, and I encourage you to go and take a look, was the outpouring of support from other businesses. M&H Beans, I know they donated rub for the pork butts. Dumas, while they aren't in North Canton, we can still recognize the fact that they gave a significant amount of pork for him to take down. It was just a neat coming together. So I just felt it really important to share it. But I also asked him if he had anything that he felt that we should share here with the North Canton residents or anybody who might read it. And I have taken what he said. So I asked Dave if he had a message he'd like me to share to the North Canton community, and he offered, "The only message we would like to convey is to not forget these people. This isn't something that's going to go away in weeks. This is going to be a months and years type rebuilding project, and these people will need our help during that time. Renee has been working with the directors of the Cajun Navy 2016 and will be working on additional efforts before the end of the year. Details for that will be shared as they become more clear. We hope to have the same type of response." So certainly, hopefully he conveys that to me. I'll be following his Facebook page, and we'll share when it comes up. Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Jamie, also our fire department collected water and consumable goods.
Yep.
That was shipped down almost to the point of a half of a semi.
It was a lot. I was there, and actually I met Andy Graham, who worked with Uncle Bacon, and I call him Uncle Bacon, David. And it's just amazing the outpouring of support from our community and our firefighters for providing a space for that. So, yeah. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share that. And if you haven't had a chance, go take a look at his Facebook page and look at some of the photos. So, that's it.
Awesome. David?
I have one item to share. The North Canton Fire Department, along with other departments and agencies, attended the Stark County Fire Prevention Breakfast last week. This annual event takes place during Fire Prevention Week. So this year, we are proud to announce that our own Captain Gary Cohen received the prestigious Dave DeMayo Fire Prevention Award. Captain Cohen was dedicated countless hours of education to the community on fire safety and prevention, conducting thorough business inspections throughout the city, and playing a critical role in the development of new buildings. Congratulations, Captain Gary Cohen, on this well-deserved honor.
For sure.
You did a good job pronouncing his name. Yeah.
If I can jump in.
Certainly.
The other award, highest honor winner there was Gary's brother, Robert Cohen, who is also a former North Canton firefighter. So we had two brothers from North Canton who both grew up here and from our department honored.
He received the Legacy Award from the Stark County Firefighters Association. I submitted a letter to him also congratulating him and Captain Cohen.
All right. Yeah. Melissa.
I'll keep mine short. Thank you to John and Captain Dillon for coming to the meeting to speak tonight. And wanted to recognize Captain Dillon and Ben for the great work they did on it was a couple weeks ago now, but the Facebook Live where they answered a lot of questions. I think between that Facebook Live recording and the information that's available on the website and the PowerPoint presentation, there's just a lot of information out there for people have questions, and you guys answered a lot of really great questions during that Facebook Live. So there's plenty of information out there for anyone who still needs it to answer those questions that they have. That's all I got.
All right. Thank you. John.
Okay, as I was passing out signs that Matt had given me, I've talked to a lot of residents in Ward 4, and we're getting a lot of positive. They're gonna be voting for the levy and stuff. I talked to a lot of newer people, not the ones that had vote for council. I spread it out a little bit. I know it's tough to do, but I talked to a lot of people, and they see the need. So we need, in this final 3 weeks, we need to really talk to your constituents and stuff of that nature. Thank you, Catherine, for the work you've done on Ambler. Hopefully we can get that back to normal. Everhard, thank you also. That was getting to be a mess. The people are really appreciating what we do. I don't know if you've talked to them, the attitudes are changing. They're seeing the problems and stuff and how we're handling it. So that's my report. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, John. Stephanie.
No report.
Christina.
I think I'd just like to offer condolences to the Groschmidt family. I don't know if you all know Ryan Groschmidt, who runs the farmer's market with his wife Jenna, and he also works at CSB Bank. His father passed away really tragically and unexpectedly about 10 days ago, and I don't know, Ryan's one of those people, I always use the term world changers. He's one of the world changers, right? We've served together in lots of ways in the community, and he's kind of been the driving force behind CSB Bank sponsoring literally every event that happens in this community for as long as I've known him. And just the work that they do at the farmer's market, and it's just really, really tragic and sad. So I just wanted to offer condolences to him and Jenna and their daughter Mia.
Hey, Matt, I had one more thing I forgot to mention.
Too late.
Go ahead. Hopefully this will help Ben. As I go to the 720 market, the thing they hold up at Oakwood Square, the second, and even down to Canton, I've been talking to some people, and they're about a year away from going to a building. So I brag up North Canton. I've got about 3 or 4 cards. I want to talk to the economic developer. And I think we can get at least 2 of these companies into the city here. And that's what we have to do, is drive business into our city. So I'll be passing those off to him. But if you're out there amongst them, talk to a lot of people. And they will listen, because they're outgrowing their kitchens or they're outgrowing this, and we have a lot of stuff we could put them into. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, my condolences as well to the Groshman family. Thank you to John Kleinbeck for speaking. I appreciate the way that he put a personal touch on that, and I hope a lot of people listened to him for that. That was excellent. I don't have much more. I'm just going to say buy and support local. Okay, moving on. Final call for new business. Okay, seeing none.
We do.
Yeah.
Well, other than this, yeah. Okay. At this time, I'd like to nominate Brandon Heel from Brendan. Gosh, I keep doing that. Brendan Heel.
Heil.
Heil. I butchered both of them. Of Brooker Graydon LLP to serve as the Director of Law for the City of North Canton.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Well, just confirm the
Okay,
nomination.
we'll do that. I didn't read this part, I'm sorry. Okay, so we've got that. Let's do the roll call vote.
All right. Member Wyrick?
Yes.
Member Owens?
Yes.
Member Cleister?
Yes.
Member Shroya?
Yes.
Member Warren?
Yes.
Member Matheny?
Yes.
Member Orr?
Yes.
7 in favor, 0 opposed.
Okay, with 7 in favor, Brendan Heil, did I say that right this time?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, is confirmed as Director of Law for the City of North Canton. At this time, I will administrate the oath of office. There's that for you. Thank you. Then, if you want to just come up here. I would have worn a suit. Okay. I, Brendan Heel, do solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and the ordinance and resolutions of the City of North Canton, and to faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties of the office of the Director of Law to the City of North Canton, and I shall...
Repeat that.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
You want to break it up?
She
saw my face.
I was like, oh, okay, I can't remember.
Do all that, right? I can just hand this down.
Yeah.
Okay. I, Brandon Heel,
I, Brendan Heil,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution
to support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the ordinance and resolutions
and the ordinance and resolutions
of the City of North Canton,
of the City of North Canton,
and to faithfully, honestly,
and to faithfully, honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of Director of Law
of the office of Director of Law
of the City of North Canton,
of the City of North Canton,
and I shall do this
and I shall do this
as I shall answer under God. Sorry, I lost
as I shall
my place.
answer under God.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll learn
Thank you.
It's like, are you gonna stop, or is this a test?
You look smart.
Yeah, you think so?
Could have done.
Does he get this? Is this ours?
It could go.
No, he gets that.
Cool. Okay. So upcoming meetings calendar, October 21st will be the Committee of the Whole. October 28th will be the regular City Council meeting. And on November 4th, we will have no meeting due to the election. So I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?